Let's just say it's not the same. This snow is still on the ground from a snowstorm we had last weekend. It has the highest median price point in the state of Indiana. The real estate market is extremely competitive. Hey everybody, welcome back to Living in Carmel, Indiana, the channel where you get the real scoop on life here in the north suburbs of Indianapolis. I'm Matt Dooley, your local realtor specializing in Carmel and the surrounding communities in Hamilton County. So today's topic, we're going to talk about 6 reasons you might not survive living in Carmel. Now I know that might sound dramatic, but stick with me. These are quirks, challenges, and potential deal breakers that might make you think twice before packing up and heading to the great Hoosier state. So if you're planning to move to Carmel or you're just curious about the possible downsides, keep watching. Now the first one we're going to talk about, as you can see, it's going to be the Indiana winters. Indiana is actually a fairly mild state when it comes to winters, especially central Indiana. Once you get up near South Bend, you get a lot more of the lake effect snow. We're getting some snow here in Indy today. I'm downtown meeting with some clients. But yeah, it is not for the faint of heart. It's about 22 degrees outside right now. I'm gonna run and grab some coffee. We'll talk about this a little bit more. So one of the nice things about living in Carmel, Indiana is you've got an excellent infrastructure when it comes to roads. We're here down in downtown Indianapolis, and let's just say it's not the same. This snow is still on the ground from a snowstorm we had last weekend, and we're about to get, I think we're getting 2 to 4 more inches today. And yeah, the roads aren't nearly as clear. Whereas Carmel, we had the roads cleared like the same day when we got like 10 inches of snow. So that's something to keep in mind. Yeah, your taxes are gonna be a little higher when it comes to property taxes, but the benefits you get from it are driving on safe roads despite the cold weather. They've got salt, they'll spray it before a snowstorm comes. So that is something to keep in mind. So like I said, the winters really aren't that bad here, but it definitely is something to consider. I think central Indiana gets anywhere between 10 and 20 inches of snow a year on average, which isn't a ton. Really the past 3 years have been very mild, very dry. Like we have not had, like I think we got more snow in this last snowstorm than we did the past 3 years. So definitely want to keep a snow shovel, some salt, but I wouldn't say it's a deal breaker. It's definitely, you know, an adjustment driving the snow. Highly recommend you have an all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive vehicle. You don't want a rear-wheel drive vehicle in the winter. Front-wheel drive, you might be okay if you've got snow tires, but definitely something to consider. All right, got my hot coffee. It's a single origin mocha from Amberson downtown. Phenomenal coffee shop. They're located in an old like service garage in the Fletcher Place neighborhood. Highly recommend. And their to-go glasses. The cups are made out of glass, so you're not getting microplastics in your bloodstream. All right, got my coffee. Gonna head back up to the north side, hopefully before roads get nasty. Next thing we're gonna talk about is the cost of living. So Carmel, with it being one of the top suburbs to move to in the United States, it's going to command a higher price tag. It has the highest median price point in the state of Indiana. So it's definitely something to keep in mind. Property taxes are a little bit higher, but the amenities you get living in Carmel, Hamilton County are far superior to anywhere else in the city, in the Indianapolis metro area. So just something to keep in mind. It's definitely more expensive. I think your median sales price is closer to $500,000, where in the rest of Indianapolis, you're right around that $350,000 range. So, but don't let that dissuade you. There are some solid options starting in the low 3s down in South Carmel. Noblesville, Fishers, you can find stuff in the 300 range, even Westfield sometimes. So if you're interested, be sure to reach out. I will definitely find you the right place at the right price point. Okay, so this is exactly what I was talking about, how the response to the snow is not as good in Indianapolis proper as it is up in Hamilton County. Figured I'd do a little compare and contrast, kind of show you what these roads look like, and then show you what they look like up in Carmel. Stay tuned. All right, had to make one more pit stop on my way back up from downtown. We are the old north side, 25th Street in Delaware, at this local butcher shop called Goose the Market, and they have phenomenal sandwiches. So we're gonna order one, check it out, show you guys another great gem in Indianapolis.
All right, you can see we're driving up just past 465. We're on 31 North, and the roads are in really good shape. A little bit of residual snow on the road, but we got plows out, dropping salt, getting the snow out of the way. Pretty substantial difference when it comes to driving in Hamilton County. And you can see we're still in the middle of a snowstorm, so it's not like the snow stopped. But yeah, the difference between driving in Hamilton County and Marion County.
Okay, so the next reason that you might not want to move to Carmel is the roundabout mania. Chances are, if you've heard about Carmel, you've probably heard about their famous or infamous, depending on your opinion, roundabouts. The city has well over 100 of them, and Hamilton County has more than any other county in North America. Here's why it's a challenge. If you've never used a roundabout before, the learning curve can be quite steep. For me, it's not that big of a deal. I personally enjoy them. But for somebody who has not dealt with a roundabout before, it can be quite daunting. You're looking left for traffic that's oncoming. You're looking right for pedestrians that could be crossing in the crosswalk. You got to keep your head on a swivel. But here's why it's actually great. Roundabouts actually reduce traffic congestion, and they lower emissions because you're not stopping, starting, and idling for a while. It increases the flow of traffic. I find them to be quite efficient, and I've got a great rule of thumb for you. So if you feel daunted by that, I've got a couple of tips for you. When you're approaching a roundabout, all you need to think is look left, check right real quick, make sure nobody's crossing. You really don't run into a whole lot of pedestrians, pun intended, on roundabouts, but you want to look to your left and make sure there's no cars coming. And then once you're in the roundabout, do not stop. Don't hit the brakes. Keep going until you find your preferred exit and then head on out. Now, on the subject of roads, streets, roundabouts, let's talk about traffic. Because Carmel during peak hours can have some pretty severe traffic. I'm at the library right now. You can actually see Carmel High School is in the background there. And if you're anywhere near downtown Carmel during when school gets out around 3:30 to 4:30, there is a ton of traffic around the school. Lots of kids crossing the street, coming over to the library, going to the parents' cars, pick them up, going to their cars. Anywhere between Smoky Row and Main Street is just going to be pretty congested. And then in the mornings on Keystone and 31, you have a lot of southbound traffic because a lot of people are going downtown for work. And then in the afternoons, it's the opposite. You have a lot of northbound traffic. But all things considered, the traffic in Indiana is really not that bad, especially in Carmel. The 465, don't even get me started on that. But I think we need HOV lanes. We had them in Arizona. I'm gonna write a letter to the governor and see if he can do something about that. So all of that to say is we're not Chicago or LA, but if you're expecting a small town, no traffic, it's not that good either. But all in all, it's pretty manageable. The next reason would be strict HOAs and covenants and restrictions that go along with that. So Carmel is well known for its well manicured lawns, like pristine neighborhoods, but all those come with conditions. The vast majority of homes in Carmel do have HOAs, and the ones that don't also have city imposed restrictions on them. So for example, I think even if you're not in an HOA, you want to have a couple backyard chickens. I believe the city of Carmel limits you to 6 hens. So if you're looking for the homestead life, I probably wouldn't recommend Carmel. You can get out to Westfield, Sheridan, Cicero, Noblesville, to kind of scratch that itch. But there are a lot of benefits that come with living in an HOA. You do have well-maintained properties. You have a lot of community amenities that are available to you, as well as really steadily increasing property values, because you know everyone's taking care of their property. You're not gonna have like a truck on cinder blocks parked in the yard next to you. So all of those things are, pretty good benefits. Some of the drawbacks include, restrictions on paint colors, fences, fence types. Some HOAs don't allow you to have sheds in your yard. Some HOAs don't allow you to have privacy fences. You have to have, 4-foot black aluminum or whatever they predetermine that they want. So if you're the type of person who doesn't like the micromanagement of a HOA and want a little bit more freedom, there's a ton of properties available. I probably wouldn't recommend Carmel though for that very reason. Finally, reason number 6 why you might not survive Carmel would just be trying to find a house here. The real estate market is extremely competitive. Many homes in Carmel are just on the market for a few days. If the house is priced right, the realtor has done their due diligence, they're gonna price it based off comps and where they feel the house will sell. And they will go quickly because this is consistently top 10, top 5 suburb to raise a family, places to live, quality of education, all that. And all those draws do make it very competitive. So I would recommend, if you're looking to move to Carmel, reach out. We'll get a game plan together and establish a protocol for viewing houses. I'll get your taste beforehand. That way we're not just driving around wasting your time. I'll show you the ones that I know that you'll like. One thing you run into a lot here is multiple offers situations. I remember back in 22, we had a ton of, full gap coverage, so appraisal gap coverage. So that's basically the difference between where the house appraises at and the purchase price. So say you offered, the house is listed at 500 and you offered 550. What you might want to do is consider $50,000 or $20,000, whatever that is, in appraisal gap coverage. And that basically says, hey, whatever this house appraises at, I'm willing to pay up to $50,000 over, up to the purchase price. And that would basically be cash at close. So that's a good tool to keep in your pocket in a competitive market like Carmel. The other thing that trumps all of those things are cash offers. So obviously cash is king. It really limits the snags you can run into with financing during escrow and just provides peace of mind for both the buyer and the seller during the process. So if you don't have a strategic plan or realtor, this guy, who can guide you, navigating the Carmel market can be stressful. With the right approach, you can find the perfect home and survive the cutthroat competition. So there you have it. Those are the 6 reasons why you might not survive living in Carmel. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe. I'll produce more content like this, and then I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.